You got a minute?
You guys look like you spent some time at the gym.
We have to.
Why?
We're a crew.
Buenos dias, bonjour, and hola, and aloha. Hey guys, welcome back to Gus's Room. Another solo podcast. This will be, hopefully this is not a reoccurring thing. I think it's gonna be. The boys have jobs and I have this. So this is what we're doing today. Saw Napoleon last night. That was a good movie. I liked it. We went to Olive Garden beforehand because you got to eat. I was very opposed to Olive Garden, but we get there, sit down. I enjoyed it. It wasn't didn't make me feel good after. I felt pretty sick, if I'm being totally honest. Somehow everything is salty there. The salad's salty. Felt like the water was. It was all oil and salt. But hey, man, that's how they do it in the Olive Garden. Those Italians, I guess, they know how to make food. That's what's all right. The Italians, they all say, like, we know how. Like, it's our culture. And all right. So one time, I'm at our apartment. Like, this is like 2 years ago, and one of the boys is dating a chick, and she's Italian, and I'm making pasta. I'm making pasta the Gus way, which is you kind of boil the water, you throw it in. And that's a rough estimate of like, all right, it looks done, and you take it out, and then you put it on a plate and maybe a little butter, barely any butter. If anything, I think you just eat it with your hands, right? This chick is yelling at me. Oh, what the fuck her problem was, dude? She comes over to our house, yelling at me how to make this flour and glue, and that's all this is. That's what frustrates me. That's where the Italians, they gotta chill out a little bit if they want to get on my good side. So she's yelling at me. She's like, no, like my family we're real Italians. Like, no, you do not know how to make pasta. Like, this is our culture. Shut the fuck up. Your culture. This isn't your culture, dude. Pasta and wine, that's your culture. That's just the diet of every college girl ever, dude. Like, oh, like, it's our culture. Like, we learned this when we were in Venice. Like, you got to go visit Venice. It's the homeland. Like, that's your homeland? A place under sea level? It's flooding and sinking. Yeah, how great is it then, dude? It's under sea level. Venice is just New Orleans with less black people. So it's like, all right, how great really is your hometown city? Whatever, man. Come on. And like so she's yelling about the pasta. She's all pissed off. I'm like, whatever, dude. You boil it. There's no steps involved. It's like, oh, like, but with my pop, we make a real pasta. Shut up. Doesn't matter. It's just food at the end of the day. Whatever. So they make it at Olive Garden. I enjoyed it. For $20, I got a fucking full dish. Unlimited breadsticks. You can't compete with that. You can't compete with unlimited. So it was good. Why did I say it was good? It was fucking, it really hurt my stomach, dude. I don't know why I agreed to go. It made my lips really chapped because all that damn salt, and my stomach was boiling. But don't worry, I had plenty of time to rethink that decision in the 2.5 hour movie we saw right after. So we go from there. The Olive Garden's right next to the movie theater. We just do a little trot over, and I get a Slurpee. I'm not a big Slurpee guy, but I think you gotta treat yourself sometimes. And so I get the massive Slurpee. We sit down, and then we're like, all right, how long is this movie? Reasonable question. So, all right, maybe it's an hour and a half, hour 45. No, it's 2.5 hours. We didn't know that sitting down. And after a half an hour preview, we were not expecting that. So we get out. The movie was really good. Joaquin Phoenix makes Napoleon look like a goddamn freak. That's really what I got from it. Yeah, like, he's just a horny bastard the whole time, dude. It's like he's fighting these wars and just trying to bang his wife, and his wife's banging other guys. I think you feel bad for him, but then he kind of does some freaky, weird stuff, and you're like, I don't feel bad for this guy at all. So the whole time I'm watching the movie, it's really good. The scenes are like, the war scenes are fucking awesome. Yeah, so you see this little freak become a more powerful freak, and then he loses all of it, and then he gets it back, and then loses it again, and then he dies. But you don't feel bad for him the whole time, you know? You're just like, this guy is just a fucking crazy, horny little freak. And I didn't really take anything away from the movie, but the whole time, so I'm like, you're kind of rooting for him. But then I remember, halfway through, I'm like, oh, bummer, like, the British are beating him up in Waterloo, just decimating him. Whatever, like 46,000 people. I think it's 400,000. I don't know how many people. We're just getting slaughtered. You feel bad for him. And then I remembered, I don't give a fuck about these guys, dude. USA is number one. And, fuck these guys. Like, dude, Thomas Jefferson, George Washington, these motherfuckers, when they get in here, are 1,000 times better than this Napoleon guy. And those guys, yeah, probably, not great. They probably had slaves. Let's be honest. Everyone back then did. Not saying it's right. But fuck, man, those guys are fucking kick ass. So I was like, all right, you know what? At the end of the day, fuck these guys. Where's the United States Independence Day? Fuck the British. It made me not like the British too. It made me didn't like the British. I didn't like the Italians, or the French. Yeah, Napoleon's French. I didn't like any of them. It just made me realize USA is number one, because this is all fucking baloney bullshit, dude. And all these guys, they're being all fancy and shit. Nah, man, you need some goddamn independence in your life. That's what you need. So that was a good movie. I'll rate it out of a bazillion, like 42 million. It was good. It was long. If I was watching it at home, it's one of those movies where it's like, all right, there's slow parts where you're like, all right, I could pick up my phone, or I go to the bathroom right now. But I was in the movie theater. It's like a really good one because you can't leave, so it kind of forces you to really stay with it the whole time. No way that guy was that big of a freak, and people were just letting him roll around, ruling all that shit. Well, so that was a good movie. Well, Christmas break for me is coming up, and I am ecstatic. I don't think I could survive much longer of just this whole life. But kind of cool update. I rode a mechanical bull for the first time 2 days ago. That was sweet. So they had that at the bar. We get a text, and it's like, hey, at this bar is going to be a mechanical bull. And we're like, duh, why wouldn't we go there? So we beeline there. And you kind of have to do the thing where you're kind of like, oh, like what is this? Like, because you can't go if you walk in from the front door straight to the mechanical bull. The mechanical bull guy's gonna be like, hey man, like actually you probably you gotta chill out. You're bringing too much goddamn energy into this bull. You gotta respect the bull. You gotta have a little bit of a Tai Chi energy. You gotta bring that energy level down. So I kind of do the thing like, I'll get a drink, and then I'm like, you're eyeballing like, wait, what is this? What's going on over here? I know what's going on. It's the goddamn bull. I'm trying to ride this. So what's interesting about it is not a lot of people were trying to do it, which is totally fair because it's going like the guy who's controlling it is trying to hurt these people. And it's embarrassing if you fall off really quickly. So it's kind of this risk reward. So we're in line. Like, you don't have to wait much longer. There's a waiver just kind of like sitting on a table next to it. Like 2 people have signed. But I'm like, all right, you know what? I'll sign it. I'll sign my name as much as I can. So, sign the waiver, hop on the bull. Dude, I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of good. It wasn't like, I got knocked off, obviously, because they just start spinning that thing 360, which I don't think bulls do in real life. I don't think bulls can turn on a 0-point axis. So, I got to figure out how I can get that skill, up, improved. Maybe I'll try and do bull riding, dude. That'd be fucking sweet. I think I could do it. I got the grip strength and that kind of, because what I was trying to do was kind of dig my heels into the side of the fake bull, really lock in the glute muscles. Ended up kind of getting real sore. And then the rest of that night got kind of weird. So it's the Army-Navy game. So the bar is just packed with Navy and Army guys. And the Army guys are getting just fucking thrown out left and right. The bouncers are putting these guys in headlocks, whatever, full Nelson style, carrying these guys out. They're kicking and screaming. They're kicking like crazy. If you ever get put in a full Nelson, right, you should try and get out of it for about 3 seconds. And if you can't, you gotta stop. Because then you're just the guy flailing around while someone's big daddy in you, you're like a baby in a baby Bjorn. So these guys, real small, like 5'8", are just getting manhandled by these bouncers. And everyone's watching them. So and then the one kid made the mistake. He got loose and then was on the ground, flailing around. Dude, the chicks are not gonna like that. Like if I was his boy or I was his friend, I can't defend that. He's flailing on the ground. You gotta have some dignity. You gotta get just thrown out. So those guys were getting thrown out left and right, and it was pretty interesting. So I'm standing around at the bar, and I hear this guy start yelling at these chicks because there's water. They got free water station, and he's yelling at them. He's like, hey, the water's not free. And at first I was like, what? The water's obviously free. And then I realized this guy is just fucking with these girls, and he's trying to charge them for the water. I think this is hilarious. I've never seen anyone do a bit like that at a bar before. So I go up to him like, hey man, like I join in with the bit. I'm like telling these girls like, yeah guys, hey, sorry man, like this is water's like there's only VIP water. We're sorry, like you gotta bounce. So I go up to the guy, I'm like, hey man, that's fucking hilarious what you're doing. And all right, so this is the tough thing I have. I go to a bar and I find a guy like that. I'm not trying to hook up with a dude, but that's really cool to me when people are funny. So I go up to him because you don't meet many people that are like, just like that guy's he wasn't there. The only person he was trying to really make laugh was himself. And that's something I can appreciate. So I go up to him and I'm like trying to whisper in his ear, but yell, everyone thought I was trying to bang this dude, right? I'm not trying to bang this dude. I go up to him, I'm like, hey man, I just want to let you know, you're hilarious. And I'm trying to just talk to him. And, but I keep on having to reassure, hey man, I'm not trying to hook up with you. I'm not into men. I don't want to hook up with you. And, but I was saying the word hooking up and banging way too much, way too loud. So everyone around us and his friends are thinking that I am trying to hook up with him. So I asked for his number. And this is where people were like, it's hard to defend myself in this situation. I'm not trying to hook up with him. I would try to explain to him. I was like, hey man, you seem really cool and funny. I want to be your friend. Which is cringy. It's making me cringe just saying it now. What sucks is it's like, all right, when you're in 4th grade, dude, you can walk up to a guy and be like, hey man, let's be friends. And he's like, hell yeah. But now, being 22, trying to make friends with guys like out at a bar, it's not chill. I shouldn't have been doing it. And which sucks though. I'm trying to just make friends. And I asked for his number, right? And he gives it to me. And then I'm like stressing out, texting him later that night, like, because I was nervous. I'm trying. I just made a new friend. I'm really excited, you know. But I'm stressing out. I'm like, oh fuck, like I don't want to be weird, you know. Like I want this new friend to like me. And he texted me whatever that next morning, something, and I didn't respond. I don't think I'm gonna respond. I think I'm just gonna delete the conversation and forget about the whole thing, which sucks. I don't know. I don't know how to approach that. Making friends as a guy is really tough. Like chicks do it all the time. Chicks just walk up to another chick at a bar in the bathroom and they talk and then they come out and they're best friends and they know each other's goddamn social security numbers. With guys, it's really tough and awkward because there's a level of when guys go out, they're not looking to talk to other guys. Some dudes are, you know, that's a whole little different genre of guy, and when you meet a guy and you're like, this guy, I really like talking to you. I think we're similar. I don't know why it's so tough, and that's what chicks don't get is like guys making friends. It is so fucking hard to not be weird, and so that's why I think when guys have friends, they stick with those, and those bonds kind of are more or better than because chicks don't have friends. Chicks don't have friends. They say they do. They say they got like, oh yeah, we're friends. They backstab each other. They talk behind every single one of their back. I haven't known a single girl where I haven't been like, oh, that's your friend? Oh no, yeah, we're friends. And then they just fucking shit on them, and they'll screw them over. They don't give a fuck about each other, and it's terrible. It's kind of sad. They're mean. They say like the most mean, heinous things. Girl, it's like a revolving door. They all get new friends. Just regenerate. And then there's like one or two girls that are like, those are actually friends. But then they fucking screw each over at the. So guys or whatever, it's different. Because I think it's just because chicks can make friends so quickly that it's like, all right, they're all like, it's like I could get 1,000 new friends instantly. But with dudes, it's like that was probably my best shot at getting a new friend. And I got too nervous. I'm bailing on it. So I think I'm kind of just tapped out with new friends, and I don't know why it's like that. And I've had this issue before meeting new people, just in general, not even trying to like date anybody, just meeting people. An issue I've had, and people have told me this before. So my friends, they'll bring their girlfriends over, right? And a couple of them, like enough where it's like a pattern consistent, have said that I am intimidating or standoffish and that I won't make eye contact with them or talk to them, which is true. Part of it's like, all right, what, you want me to talk to your girlfriend? All right, weirdo. No, dude, I don't give a fuck about her. We're friends. Doesn't mean I'm friends with this lady just because you guys make out or something. But yeah, maybe I don't make eye contact with them because I'm awkward. And maybe I don't talk to them because what am I going to talk to them about? Like, hey, like, you kissed my friend? Like, gross. I'm not fucking talking to this lady about it. You just show up at my house. But other people have said that I'm intimidating and not easy to approach. So that doesn't make that easier, especially guys too. Guys see me at the bar, and I'm like a lighthouse. That's the tough thing about being tall. You're a lighthouse for drunk guys wanting to fight you. It's like a beacon. Like they'll see you just standing there and be like, all right, I'm gonna go over there and just bump into this tall fucking guy, and throw a drink at him. It's terrible, and guys think I'm trying to be all aggressive or something. No, dude, I just want to make friends. So yeah, that happened. I don't know why. That's just the damn society we live in. Well, Christmas is coming up, and I've been getting texts from Santa Claus. I know it sounds crazy, but about a week ago, I got Santa Claus had texted me, and I think it's someone had set me up with like, like one of those things that parents do. It's like, hey, you're like Santa will text your child, like give us your number, give us your kid's number. What kid has a phone that young that's like texting Santa? Well, Santa texts me and starts off the conversation. Well, hey Gus, this is Santa. I've been looking forward to writing you all year. I can't wait to tell you the stories from the North Pole. I respond, hell yeah, because part of me doesn't know if this is the real Santa. Like what if it is? I'm not gonna just blow him off. So he sends me a photo of like his boots and jacket, and then he says, Gus, I need to take my Santa suit out to be cleaned. In the meantime, Mrs. Claus will take my phone and give you a special tour of the workshop. I am so in. So I'm like, sweet. Yeah, dude, take your time. So then Mrs. Claus sends me a photo of like some ice house thing and says, hey, Gus, it's Mrs. Claus. Most people don't know, but over the years, the elves built a beautiful walkways of ice between the North Pole workshops. That's kind of getting into the lore of it. I didn't know that. So this is Friday. It's a little later in the evening. So, I'm kind of in a different state. And I said, oh, I had no clue. How strong is your marriage? Like, are you guys happy or is there wiggle room? Waking up the next morning and reading that, wasn't super proud. I know this isn't real, This is probably a robot sending this text, but still, that's Mrs. Claus, man. That's not right. So then he sends me a photo of a bunch of mail and says, next on the workshop tour, Gus, is Santa's letter room. Here are millions of letters, including these ones from your town, wait to be read by Santa, which is a part of the Santa lore they don't talk about. This guy's reading all these letters. That would take fucking years, dude. Every child writes a letter to Santa and he has to read all of them. Those kids don't know how to spell either. He'll be stumbling over his words. That old fart. And I said, all right, I did actually, it was pretty cool. So I said, that's pretty cool. I love getting mail, so this would be a big deal for me. I do. Getting mail is like top 10. Seeing my name on a little card, hell yeah. And then I told him, I was like, yeah, I don't read too fast, so this would definitely, take a while. And then yesterday he says, Gus, as we continue our tour of the workshop, hold on. There's a strange squeaking sound coming from outside. Should we go see what it is? All right. I know it's not real, but that's fucking crazy. This is like, they're getting me in. This point, I was actually like, I read that and I was like, fuck, actually, I do need to know what's at the door. So I said, to be honest, I wouldn't if I were you. Santa, you're in the North Pole and there's a squeaking noise outside of your house. There is no need for you to go out there. Stay in. You got all this reading you got to get done, brother. But he sends a photo and it's a seal, like a baby seal. He said, look, Gus, the squeaking sound was a baby seal pup. It must be lost, so the elves are bringing it back to its family. What should we name him? I respond back almost instantaneous. That's a mark. If I've ever seen one, that's a mark. M-A-R-K, dude. Seals are little perverts, dude. Baby seals, doesn't matter. The seals in the ocean, when we were on the Cape and their little heads would pop up, their dumb little big black eyes and little nose, dude, those guys are little just freaks, little Napoleon freaks. So I've been texting Santa. That's been going well. It's sad, right? We could acknowledge that, like, this is a very big deal for me. I don't get many, text messages. So texting Santa Claus, it's pretty nice. Yeah, the whole Santa Claus lore, I have some major issues with. So I hope Santa Claus is Chinese. I think people will say, oh, he's either white or he's black. I hope he's Chinese. I think that would make the most sense. you know, especially with the reading thing. And this is not a you know, a racist comment. Every friend that I have that's Asian, Chinese, they're amazing readers. Like they read really fast, and I'm impressed because I don't read, well, or too fast. And just the efficiency, like fuck, I can like command over all those elves, dude. And then the whole Mrs. Claus thing, like, no way he has time for his wife, and they haven't had kids. What's that about, dude? There's no baby Santa. What? Also, then the elves. The elves reproduce. They must, because like Santa Claus stays the same age, and Mrs. Claus, they're locked in an eternity of suffering. So I guess the reason they wouldn't have a child is child would raise, and then the child would die because it's not immortal, and then they'd have to watch their child die, and that might take a hit, during the Christmas season. I could see that being like a morale lowerer. The elves, though, on the other hand, those fuckers, they're definitely reproducing. Well, are going crazy like rabbits, man. The little elf huts, making all those toys. Yeah, those guys are little freaks too. So there must be thousands of dead elves, right? Or they might evaporate or something. I don't know how their bodies work, but God, that'd be sweet to have like 3 or 4 elves. Isn't that not slavery? The whole race of elves making toys for 2 immortal, old, hopefully Chinese, maybe white, black people. It doesn't sound right. And then the whole reindeer thing, right? All right, so the reindeers, right, they're pulling on a sleigh, and there's 12 of them, right? I think there's 12. And do those not die? Do they not get a new one? Is everything just staying the way it is? Also, he could come through the front door. I think it would make more sense. Most roofs don't have a flat spot for him to land on. If I were him, I'd land in the driveway. Yeah, I go driveway, right? Driveway, front door. He can probably pick some blocks. The dude's freaking magic. And then I'd come in the front door, toss the presents in there, in and out. Going through the chimney thing. Also, the whole cookies thing. That's the trade-off. I got to bake him something. And he only drinks milk. All the milk he's drinking, his bones would be goddamn steel. So that's those are the quarrels I have with the old Santa Claus. It's definitely one of my favorite holidays. I think it's fun. I think it's fun because it's when Jesus was born, and that's pretty fun because then Jesus is born, the whole calendar switches. It starts counting down. This guy's born, then it starts counting up. And then they kill him. The guy that they switch the calendar around, they kill him. And, yeah. Yikes. Well, Christmas is going to be exciting. I think I'm going to get my whole family, like, a photo of me or something. Well, so I got in those headshots, right? Got all those headshots taken. I think I'm just going to sign all of those, give it to them. That's probably going to be worth, more. That's more. There's the sentimental value. And then there's, like, the value. I think it's going to be damn worth some bazillions. A lot of smeckles in the future. Yeah, sweet. All right, well, I appreciate it. Thank you for your time. Thank you for hanging out with me. Hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving. Stay safe. I hope Chinese Santa parks in your driveway. So maybe we should... I had this idea when I was younger, right? And it's kind of a little... This is kind of on the borderline when I had a feeling my parents were gonna... Like, I wanted to... All right, so I wanted to kill Santa Claus. So I was like, all right, if I kill him, right? Like, he's got that whole sleigh full of all those toys, right? I could have all the presents under this Christmas tree, or I could have the sleigh and the reindeer and Mrs. Claus. So I was gonna poison the milk and just put like cleaning chemicals in the milk to kill Santa, right? Thank God I did not do that. I would have killed my fucking dad. And I would have felt so bad. But the thing is, what I think is interesting about all that, so say I poison the milk. I create a concoction. My dad drinks it. For some reason, he doesn't spit it out. I don't know why, right? He drinks it. And you know how parents, they take a little bite of the cookie and drink whatever. So he does that. I kill my father by accident, right? On Christmas Day. In my mind, you know, I have a very active imagination. I almost 100% positive I would then believe waking up next morning, dead dad, no Santa Claus. I would convince myself Santa Claus killed him. And I'd feel terrible, you know? That was a close call. I don't think, I don't know if I'm making that apparent. Like, this plan was very close to happening. Even if my dad didn't drink it, he would just get a mouthful of like every cleaning supplies thing we had under our sink. It would definitely fucking knock him out or something. Yeah, so that was a close call. I don't think I ever told my dad that. I don't think I've told anyone that. Fuck. God, my family would be pissed. I kill my dad on baby Jesus' birthday? Fucking hell. Talk about getting coal. Jeez. Well, thank God I didn't. Speaking of dead people, so I used to work at a pool company, right? Over the summer, Uncle's pool company. And we, across the street was a crematorium, right? Like right across the street. So we're in Tampa, crematorium, and they would have like, you know, smoke coming out of the stacks. They had like one little small baby chimney. It didn't look like a crematorium, it just looked like a little house where they burnt bodies, right? And one time we're trying to leave, you know, the entryway of the pool place, whatever. We're in one of like the dump trucks. And there's like this minivan, this red minivan, kind of shitty looking, parking. So we can't, you know, we're like, hey man, you gotta move your car. So we go over and talk to him, and he's like, I'm waiting to go into the crematorium. I got a dead guy in the back, which is, I guess, is fine. There's no rules that it has to be a hearse or there has to be a coffin. You know, like, all right, so if I ever worked, all right, first of all, if I worked at a funeral house, right, I would have two little side hustles going. First one, pizzas on the weekends. You got that big ass oven. You could be cranking out pizzas. I'm talking Piezillas, you know, I'm talking like Guinness World Record book size pizzas. You're selling those. Like you're known, like that guy makes massive pizzas. I would obviously kind of like brush off the ashes of the people, but that would be the first side hustle. You got that big oven. Why wouldn't you? You know, during the off hour, because people are dying constantly, right? But like you could probably burn a couple people at once, you know? So like you kind of pile them up, burn them, put the ashes, separate them up in like whatever Ziploc bags or something. And then you rip the pizzas, right? And they'd be called like death pizzas. Something like Death by Pizza. Oh, what? That's such a good name. So that's the first thing I'd be doing. Also, you got to transport the body a lot of the time because like when someone dies, right? So they die. They bring them to like the hospital, you know, sometimes they transport them or leave them. But if they just die of natural causes, there's like the family could go grab them, you know, and you could just kind of throw them over your, over your shoulder. Like, all right, Nana's dead. Grab her, grab her by the collar. Just kind of fucking toss her over. Or they'd call me the dead body guy, and I would pick them up, right? So what's cool about dead bodies, right? I'd go around, I'd pick them all up. I'd prop them up, in the front seat of the car, and then I put them in the passenger seat. I'd buckle them up, obviously, you gotta be respectful of people's bodies. And dude, and then from where I picked them up to going back to my, the house where I burned the bodies with my big pizza oven, dude, I would just ride in the HOV lane, man. I got a person. There's no rules that the person has to be alive, right? And if I had like a whole car, I'd have a minivan, obviously. It's used, pre-owned though, certified pre-owned. I'm not crazy. And I'd have them all in the back seat, and I'd put on some music for them, roll down the windows. It's gonna get stanky, they're rotten still, and but I could ride in the HOV lane, so that would be part of it. And all right, so maybe I wouldn't go directly to the crematorium. I'd make some pit stops. I'd go through, like, I got this free HOV pass right here, dude. It's a dead person. Yeah, a car full of dead people. But I'm supposed to, this is my job. So maybe like, they want the body like crematored or like burnt up, but it's not like they're like on you, like, we need the body on fire now. We need the burn grandma. No one's saying that. They're like, oh, well, like, I would say, hey, it takes a minute, all right? So maybe, all right, a couple of days later, I'm still, Nana's in the front seat still, all right? What's nice, I don't have to move her once. I can park her in the garage. It's cold in there. That'll keep it. I'll put the AC on for them. I don't want them really stinking it all up. But dude, I don't know if people understand. The HOV lane is ton of fun. You just speed. So, got the dead body. And if I ever got pulled over by a cop, this is exactly how it would go down. So, I'm speeding or whatever, or like he thinks, whatever, pulls me over. And he walks up the car. You remember running it? Hey, you know why I pulled you over today? And then I'd be like, no, officer, actually, I don't know why. Did I do something wrong? And then he would gasp in horror because he sees a minivan full of rotten corpses. And he'd say something along the lines of, what the hell? What the fucking heck? Why are all these people dead? So then I would then turn and I'd look at dead Nana in the car full of dead rotting corpses. Oh my God. What the hell? They were alive. They were alive when we left. Officer, this is crazy. And I'd just say, yeah, they were alive. And I don't know what the officer would say then. He'd probably shoot me on sight, dude, point blank. If I'm being honest, if we're being really truthful on how the situation would go down, because I don't know if I could not laugh. I'd probably be grinning the whole time. Oh my God, they're dead. What? And he'd shoot me in the head, point blank. And, but that's just part of my job, dude. And I also, like, people say funerals cost a lot. I'll do it for cheap. Like, I'll do that job so cheap. Not because I enjoy it, but, like, it doesn't, me throwing it in there. Maybe I slide a pizza in there too. So, all right, I'm making money. We're breaking even here. No one's freaking out. And I think people would use me. I'm the dead guy. I'll fucking, come on. Let me pick up Nana. Let me ride in the HOV lane. Come on. Let me take your dead grandma, please. I'm not gonna do anything with them. Come on. And yeah, there's a lot of jobs like that where people would do them for free. One, because they like them. Like, dude, kids drown all the time in swimming pools, right? All right. And it's because the lifeguards are just random chicks. I think I've talked about it before. They're just like 14-year-old girls. They're small. They're not saving anybody. Get some goddamn pedophiles on the lifeguard stands. They're going to be Hawkeyes over all these kids. I know I've said this before. You know, they'll be kids drowning. They'll be the first one. They'll be in there, you know, probably before the kids even drown. They'll know because they got eyes. They'll be staring at them the whole time. You know, and they'll be quick to do the mouth to mouth. And then we have like another guy that with a stick, he beats them off. But no more kids would drown. So, but I could probably get a funeral done. Like if anyone watching this, and you got someone that's about to die, you know, give me like 45-minute notice. I gotta go to Home Depot. I gotta get a couple things. You know, like at least a pair of gloves. You know, I don't want to be touching on Nana. Old people's skin's gross. But yeah, if anyone out there, you know, you got a dead grandma or something. Fuck, I'll quote you. Grandma, what? She's I don't know, say she's 140. Maybe she's a little bigger. She's been kind of sitting, just eating. She's 170. All right. You know, I'll take grandma out of there. I'll have her in the ground. Fuck. $250. I'll do it for you. I'll give you $5 off if you buy one of the pizzas. Yeah, I could get grandma on the ground for $250. I'd probably get it done in about 2 hours. You know, the whole funeral thing is just baloney that it costs anything. So, yeah, let me know. I'm always looking for work. Doesn't even have to be within my major. You know, any of that. Large animal euthanasia. You know, I'll also do that. You got a big animal. You want me to euthanize? Fuck. I'll do it. Cool. Well, those are the offers I got for you. I appreciate you listening. And I will see you guys next week. See ya.